We're in the Gemara on Daf Lamed Daled Amud Beis, where it says Kishem Sheshliach Tzibur. The first words in the line are Vaha Safik. So what did it say in the Mishnah? The Mishnah, it said this is not only about Rosh Hashanah, but it's talking about every day in the year. Kishem Sheshliach Tzibur Chayiv. The Tanna Kama says just like a Shliach Tzibur davens, and he's mitzi, could be mitzi everyone, or what we do today, a Chazaras Hashatz, right? So Chach, Kol Yachid V'Yachid Chayiv. So too, every individual has to daven first himself. Right? So first, everyone davens themselves, Shemoneh Esrei, and then the Shliach Tzibur davens and does Chazaras Hashatz. And then Rabbi Gamliel said on that, Rabbi Gamliel Laimish Shliach Tzibur Mitzi Es Harabim Yidei Chayvasan. The Shliach Tzibur is mitzi everybody. When he davens, the Chazaras Hashatz, he's mitzi everyone. This is not talking about Tkiyas, this is talking about davening, and it's talking about davening all year. And we'll see soon, the Gemara will speak about whether there's a difference between all year or Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. But the Mishnah Bepashtus is speaking about all year. So the Gemara brings a Braisa where there was a discussion between the Chachamim and Rabbi Gamliel regarding this. So Tanya, we learned in a Braisa, Amru Leila Rabbi Gamliel, the Chachamim said to Rabbi Gamliel, Lidvarecha, according to your opinion that the Shliach Tzibur is mitzi everybody. So then Lama Tzibur Mispalalim. So why before the Shliach Tzibur davens loud and is mitzi everyone, so then why do we first have the quiet Shemoneh Esrei where everyone davens themselves? What's the point? The Shliach Tzibur is anyways mitzi anybody. Amalehem, so Rabbi Gamliel answered, Kidei lahazdir Shliach Tzibur tfilasai. To give the Shliach Tzibur time to organize and prepare the davening that he has to say for everybody. So everybody davens quietly, and meanwhile the Shliach Tzibur could prepare to be mitzi everybody. That's the only reason. That's the main reason. In other words, really, we're going to be yaitza all with the Shliach Tzibur. But in order for in those times, you have to understand, they didn't have the Sidurim and everything that's prepared in front of you the way they have it today. So whoever was able to daven quietly, and then the Shliach Tzibur has time to prepare the davening, and then he davens loud and he's mitzi everybody. Now, in the reverse, Amalem Rabbi Gamliel, that's what it seems like. Amalehem Rabbi Gamliel, now Rabbi Gamliel says to the Chachamim, Lidivrechem, according to your opinion, according to the Chachamim that say that everybody has to daven themselves first, so then Lama Shliach Tzibur Yored Lifnei HaTeva. So then why afterwards do we have the Shliach Tzibur going for the Yamud and doing the Chazaras Hashatz? Everybody already davened before, everyone has to daven before. Amrulai, yeah, that's what the Chachamim said. Chachamim said that everybody has to daven. Kishem Shliach Tzibur Chayev, Kach Kol Yachid V'Yachid, every Yachid is Chayev to daven before. Right? So if every Yachid has to daven before what we have today, the quiet Shemoneh Esrei, so then why is the Shliach Tzibur doing Chazaras Hashatz? Amrulai, so the Chachamim said, Kidei lahoitzi es she'ein baki, because he's coming to be mitzi, the one that's not proficient, someone that doesn't know how to daven. Everybody has to daven before, but then there could be people that don't know how to daven. And again, they don't have Sidurim even then, so there could be many such people that don't know how to daven. So the Shliach Tzibur is for those people. So what Chachamim says, our opinion makes sense. Everyone is davening because we want everyone to daven themselves, not to be yaitze from the Shliach Tzibur. The idea of davening is that you should dafka daven yourself. Chachamim don't want that a Shliach Tzibur should be mitzi someone that could daven himself, but then the Shliach Tzibur davens to be mitzi those that can't daven on their own. Right? This is a unique thing, by the way, regarding davening. I mentioned this before, I think, that usually the halacha is you could always be mitzi someone else with a mitzvah, with a bracha, kiddush, and things like that. But regarding davening, I think it says regarding davening and regarding benching and Kriyas Shema, Chachamim were mesakin that everyone should do it themselves. They want you should daven yourself, and therefore they're only mitzi someone that's not baki. So he doesn't know how to. But if you could daven, you should daven yourself. Amalehem, so Rabbi Gamliel responds to this, Kishem, Shemoitzi is she'ein baki. So you're saying that the Shliach Tzibur could be mitzi someone that doesn't know how to daven, so just like he could be mitzi someone that doesn't know how to daven, Kach mitzi is baki. According to my opinion, the Shliach Tzibur could be mitzi anybody. We don't make any distinctions. Just like any other mitzvah, that you could be mitzi someone with a mitzvah, whether he knows how to make kiddush, he doesn't know, he knows how to blow shofar, he doesn't know, you could be mitzi anybody. So over here as well, the Shliach Tzibur could be mitzi anybody, whether he knows how to daven or not. So that's the bottom line here. The machlokes between the Tanna Kama and Rabbi Gamliel is, what's the point of the Shliach Tzibur? Rabbi Gamliel says the Shliach Tzibur is going to be mitzi everybody. Why are they davening before? That's also all for the Shliach Tzibur. To give the Shliach Tzibur time to prepare, to be able to daven, to be mitzi everyone. But according to the Chachamim, no, it's the other way around. The main point is you got to daven yourself. If you're able, you have to daven yourself. But then the Shliach Tzibur does Chazaras Hashatz for those individuals that don't know how to daven. But if you know how to daven, you're not going to be yaitzu with the Shliach Tzibur. Amar Rabbi bar bar Chana, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi bar bar Chana said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Maidim Chachamim la Rabbi Gamliel, that Chachamim afterwards were maided to the opinion of Rabbi Gamliel. In the beginning they argued, but then later they came and they were maided to Rabbi Gamliel that the Shliach Tzibur could be maitzi everyone. Rav Amar, but Rav said, Adaini machlokes. No, they did not. They were not maided. It's still a machlokes. Shamei Rav Chia berei de Rabbi bar Nachmeni. So Rav Chia, the son of Rabbi bar Nachmeni, heard what Rabbi Yochanan said that Chachamim were maided to Rabbi Gamliel. Azal Amr l'shmaite kamei Rav Dimi bar Chinana, and he repeated this to Rav Dimi bar Chinana. Amalei, so he said to him, Hochi Yom Rav, yes, you're saying in the name of Rabbi Yochanan that the Chachamim were maided, but Rav said, no, Adaini machlokes. They still argued. They were not maided. So Amalei, he said, Rab Chia bereid the Rabbi bar Nachmeni, he said to him, Rabbi bar bar Chana nami hochi kama. When Rabbi bar bar Chana said that Rabbi Yochanan said that the Chachamim were maided, only Rabbi Yochanan said so. Ki amar Rabbi Yochanan lahashmaite, when Rabbi Yochanan said this halacha that Chachamim were maided to Rabbi Gamliel, if legalei Reish Lakish. So Reish Lakish argued on this. Not only Rav argued on this, Reish Lakish, which is usually the bar plukta, he usually argues with Rabbi Yochanan. Reish Lakish argued on this and he said, no, adaini machlokes. They still argue. Chachamim did not agree to Rabbi Gamliel. Okay, so we have here a machlokes regarding the halacha l'maaseh. What's going to be the actual halacha? Did Chachamim agree to Rabbi Gamliel or did they not? Now the Gemara asks, how could we say that Rabbi Yochanan said that the Chachamim did agree to Rabbi Gamliel and that the Shliach Tzibur could always be maitzi everybody, even someone that's not baki? Me, Amar Rabbi Yochanan hachi, did Rabbi Yochanan say so? But va'amar Rabbi Chana tzipayra, Amar Rabbi Yochanan halacha or hilchase ka Rabbi Gamliel. So he said that the halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel. So when you say the halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel, what does that mean? Hilchase Miklal de pligi. If you're saying the halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel, so that means that the Chachamim still argue. So yeah, it's true, Taka. We see over here that he said that the halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel, but it must be that the Chachamim argued. So how could Rabbi bar bar Chana say in the name of Rabbi Yochanan that the Chachamim did not argue? So the Gemara says, Kisalik Rab Abba miyami. When Rab Abba came from overseas, Pirisha, he explained as follows: Maidim Chachamim l'Rabbi Gamliel. This that Rabbi bar bar Chana said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, that he agreed to Rabbi Gamliel, that the Shliach Tzibur could always be maitzi everybody and anybody, even someone that's baki. That's regarding Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, the davening of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. The Gemara will soon explain Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is different. Over there's a reason why the Shliach Tzibur could be maitzi everybody. And then the halacha meklal de pligi, and this that we quoted that Rabbi Yochanan said that the halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel, which means that the Chachamim still argue the brachas to Chol Hashana. That's regarding the brachas every day of the year. Over there, the Chachamim still argued. But the Gemara doesn't accept this answer. Aini, is this true? The same individual that we quoted before. So he said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, there's another version of what he said. Halacha ke Rabbi Gamliel bebrachas shel Rosh Hashanah v'shel Yom Kippurim. That we paskin like Rabbi Gamliel regarding the brachas of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that the Shliach Tzibur could be maitzi everybody. So what do we see over here? That even regarding Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the Chachamim still argue. The Gemara wanted to make a distinction between all year round and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. But we see that even regarding Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, he's saying that the halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel, meaning that the Chachamim argue. So the Chachamim were not maida ever. So the Gemara says there's a third opinion here. Elam Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, man maidim. Who is the one that was maida to Rabbi Gamliel? When we had before that Rabbi Yochanan said that the Chachamim were maida to Rabbi Gamliel, who is it that was maida? Rab Meir. Rab Meir is the one that was maida. And the halacha meklal de pligi, and when we said that the halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel, which means that the Chachamim were not maida, Rabbanan. Those were the Rabbanan that were not maida. So in other words, there's the Rabbanan and there's Rab Meir. They both argued with Rabbi Gamliel. Rab Meir then was maida, but Rabbi Gamliel was not maida. The Tanya, we learned in the Braisa. The Rabbanan were not maida, correct, and Rab Meir was maida. The Tanya, we learned in the Braisa, brachas shel Rosh Hashanah v'shel Yom Kippurim, the brachas of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, Shliach Tzibur, Moitzi harabim yidei chivasam, divrei Rab Meir. Rab Meir says that when it comes to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, over here the Shliach Tzibur could be maitzi everybody, just like Rabbi Gamliel said. In other words, Rabbi Gamliel was maida, again, Rab Meir that is, was maida to Rabbi Gamliel regarding Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. The Chachamim and the Chachamim argue on this, not only regarding all year round, even regarding Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Kishem sheshliach tzibur chayiv, just like a shliach tzibur has to daven to be mitzi everyone, kach kol yachid v'yachid chayiv. So too, every single individual has to daven for themselves, including Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So basically, the conclusion of our Gemara here is that there's three opinions. There's the opinion of Rabbi Gamliel that a shliach tzibur is always mitzi everybody. Not only Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, any day of davening, even if you're a baki, the shliach tzibur davens and is mitzi everybody. On the other extreme, you have the opinion of the Chachamim that say, no, every yachid has to always daven himself. Not only every day of the year, even Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, you have to daven yourself. Rab Meir is a middle opinion. Rab Meir agrees to Rabbi Gamliel when it comes to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. There he says that you can be yaitzu with the shliach tzibur. Now the Gemara explains what is different with Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Why is there more of a reason to say that you can be yaitzu with the shliach tzibur? So my shna hani. What's different with the davening of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? There's actually a machlekes when the Gemara keeps on saying Yom Kippur. What does the Gemara mean with Yom Kippur? Does the Gemara mean every Yom Kippur, or does the Gemara mean the Yom Kippur of Yovel? Before, when we were talking to Gemara about Yom Kippur, we keep on talking about Yom Kippur in the year of Yovel, that you have to say the Malchi is the Chreinis and Shofris on Yom Kippur of Yovel, just like Rosh Hashanah. So some say it refers dafka to Yovel, some say no, it refers to every Yom Kippur. But what is different about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? Is the reason because on Rosh Hashanah and on Yom Kippur, there's a lot of psukim that you have to say in the Shemoneh Esrei. So this refers to all the psukim that you have to say. So Rashi over here says that it refers to the Musaf of Rosh Hashanah, where you have to say the psukim of Rosh Hashanah, all the karbanis that you mentioned, of the Musaf of Rosh Hashanah, and also the Rosh Chodesh Musaf you have to mention. And Rashi says also Malchi is Zechreinis and Shofris you have to mention. There's a lot of different psukim that you have to say. So because there's so much to say, so a lot of people have a hard time saying it. So therefore over there, Rab Meir was made to Rabbi Gamliel. Rav Chananel said in the name of Rav, Kivin sha'ama u'v'seirascha kasav leimar shuvin itzarech. That if one came and said on Rosh Hashanah that there's special musafim that you have to bring today, and what are those special musafim? U'v'seirascha kasav leimar. It says it in the Torah what it is. Even if you just say that and you don't say what all those psukim are, you don't say the actual kabbanis, you can be yaitz just with that, just like by saying u'v'seirascha kasav leimar. So you don't have to say any more. Now Rashi says that Ein Tzarech, you don't have to say any more for the Musafim, for the Musaf of Rosh Hashanah, for the Musaf of Rosh Chodesh. But from Rashi it seems that you still would have to say all the Psukim of Malchi, Zechreinis, and Shofris. Right? So that's a bit of a problem here in the Pshat of the Gemara, because there's still a lot to say. You still have a lot to say, which is hard for people to say. So what's the Gemara's question? When the Gemara is asking, Shuv Ein Tzarech, so what's so hard to daven yourself? You don't have to say much more. You just have to say V'seras Chakasav Leimar. But as I said, Rashi says this only regarding Musafin. And the reason why Rashi says it's only regarding Musafin, afterwards Rashi brings that his Rebbe said that even when you get to the whole Malchi, Zechreinis, and Shofris, you don't have to say any of the Psukim. As long as you say V'seras Chakasav Leimar, that's good enough. But the question is, we had before in the Gemara, you have to say 10 psukim, you have to say Torah, Nevi'im, and Ksuvim, you have to say 3 psukim or 7 psukim. All of a sudden here the Gemara is saying you could just say V'seras Chakasav Leimar and it's good enough. So that's why Rashi says that it does not go on Malchi, Zechreinis, and Shofris. Rabbeinu Tam in Tosfos here says, if you begin saying the psukim, then you have to say like the Gemara said before, 9 psukim or 10 psukim or at least 7 psukim. But if you're not going to say any of the psukim, you're just going to say V'seras Chakasav Leimar, so then it's good enough. Or you say V'seras Chakasav Leimar, and in Divrei Nevi'im, it says in the Nevi'im as well, and the Ksuvim, and that's it. You don't have to say any of the psukim. So therefore, according to Tosfos, we understand what the Gemara is saying. There's no reason why you should have to rely on a Shliach Tzibur. You could just say these few words and you would be Yaitze. So Ella, the Gemara says, the reason is different. Mishum the Afshi Brachis. The reason is because there's more brachas. There's 9 brachas that you have to say. And because there are 9 brachas, so therefore this could lead a person to make a mistake. There's more brachas to say here than a regular Shabbos davening. So it's longer davening, so a person can make a mistake. So they let you rely on the Shliach Tzibur. Even if there's not a lot of psukim, but there's still more brachas to say, a person can get confused in the order and how to say it. So therefore you can rely on the Shliach Tzibur. That's what's different about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Huh? Yeah, they're saying it by heart in those days. Correct. They don't have a machzer. Yeah. Sagt the Gemara, Gufe, going back to this point over here that he just said. Amar Rav Chananel Amar Rav. Kivin sha'amar u'v'seras chakasav leimar. If you just said u'v'seras chakasav leimar, shuv ein tzarech. You don't have to say any more. Savar mina. So the Gemara thought that what did he mean? Hani mili biyachid. This is only an individual davening himself. So he's davening himself and he doesn't know what to say. So you could say just of v'seras l'kasav leimer and his yaitze. Avol b'tzibur loy. But b'tzibur, you have a shliach tzibur that's davening. When it's b'tzibur, so over there you can't just say v'seras l'kasav leimer. But the Gemara brings itmer. Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said, Echad yachid ve'echad tzibur. Whether you're a yachid, whether you're a tzibur, kivin sh'ama v'seras l'kasav leimer, shuven itzarech. Once you said v'seras l'kasav leimer, you don't have to say anymore. Amar Rabbi Lazar la'olam yastir adam tfilasai v'achakach yispalel. A person should always first organize the words of davening to be clear how the order of how he has to daven, and then he should go and daven. If while you're davening, you're going to be preparing the davening for yourself, so then you're not going to be able to daven properly. Again, they don't have any sidurim, so they have to make sure they know the order of davening in advance and then come to daven. Rabbi says, it's logical to do like what Rabbi Lazar says, regarding Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur v'shal and davening that comes once in a while. Rashi says it refers to Yomim Tovim. But what you daven all year round, every day or every Shabbos even, sorry, and some say that this refers even to every Rosh Chodesh, it's not necessary to organize your davening before you daven because the person knows the order of his davening. So the Gemara, Eini, is this true that you don't have to prepare all year round? Rav Yehuda, Mesader Tzoloisei Umeshani. Rav Yehuda, he would first prepare and organize what he has to daven, and then he would go ahead and daven. So the Gemara answers, no, Shani, Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda is different. Kivin the Mitlas and Yaimin, the Tlas and Yaimin have a matzli. He only davened once in 30 days. He didn't daven every day, B'chlal. Once in 30 days he davens, Kiprakim Dami. So therefore it's considered to be like davening once in a while. Why would Rabbi Yehuda daven once in 30 days? So Rashi says he was sitting and learning the whole time. He would go over the entire Gemara once in 30 days. So only after he finished the Torah that he learned, he would review it every 30 days. So after he finished reviewing it in 30 days, that's when he went to daven. Someone that's Torasa Yom Nasa, someone that Torah is his profession, he learns non-stop, is not obligated to daven.
Who's
Rav Yehuda, one of the Tanoim.
Oh,
yeah. Or maybe an Amir actually, Rav Yehuda. Yeah, he would daven once in 30 days. The Ramban actually brings from this Gemara that from here you see that the mitzvah of davening every day is not a mitzvah min ha-Torah. The Rambam holds that there's a mitzvah min ha-Torah to daven every single day. The Ramban says no, it's only a mitzvah min ha-Rabbanan to daven every single day. And the Ramban says the Rai is from Rav Yehuda. How does he push off a mitzvah min ha-Torah and davens only once in 30 days? But other Mefarshim say there is a mitzvah min ha-Torah, but you can pater yourself. If you're learning Torah non-stop, Torah Siyam Nasai, so then you're pater of davening every single day. Okay, we'll stop over here, and Mitzvah Shem will make the siyum on Matzah Shabbos on the Hemshcha de Gemara. But let me just share with you quickly a vart from the Rebbe on this whole machlokes here between Rabbi Gamliel and the Tana Kama regarding davening. So Rabbi Gamliel said the main davening is the Shliach Tzibur, and the Shliach Tzibur could be mitzi everybody, whether you're a baki, whether you're not a baki. On the other hand, the Chachamim say no. The main thing is when the Tzibur davens. All the Yechidim, everybody in the shul davens. That's the main davening. So the Rebbe says that the reason why you have this machlokes is based on machlokes that you have many times: kamos versus echos, quantity versus quality. What's more valuable? And the Rebbe brings different examples for this, and the Rebbe says here as well, when you have all the Yidden davening together, the Tefillah Balachash, the Shemay Esrei quietly, over there, the Maila of that is the Kamos, is the number of people that everybody is davening. But then when you have the Shliach Tzibur that davens, you have one person that's the representative of everybody, and he has the koyach of the whole Klal Yisrael in his davening, so his davening is much more powerful. There's a big echos, there's a big power in his davening that's more than the individuals davening Shemay Esrei for themselves. So therefore Rabbi Gamliel values the echos of the Shliach Tzibur that davens. And then the Rebbe connects it also to the fact that Rabbi Gamliel was a Nasi. Rabbi Gamliel was a Rebbe, he was a leader in his times. So therefore Rabbi Gamliel is the one that emphasizes the koyach of that one leader or that one Shliach Tzibur that represents the entire klal. It's all included in his koyach of his davening. And then the Rebbe says, B'derech Remez, that this is the theme of Masechta Rosh Hashanah, it's connected to the Inyan of Rosh Hashanah, because Rosh Hashanah is the same thing. It's the beginning of the year, it's the Rosh of the year, and that's the day that includes in it the koyach of the Ashpah of the entire year. And a Shliach Tzibur is the same thing. He's the Rosh of the whole entire congregation, of the whole Tzibur, and his davening includes the koyach to be mitzi everybody through his davening.